Happy extra long weekend, and thanks for listening to the Best of the KQ Morning Show podcast, sponsored by Devani's Pizza and Hot Hoagies. We're taking a break to digest all that turkey, and we'll join you with fresh episodes Monday, December 2nd.
The Best of the KQ Morning Show.
Puck.
The KQ Morning Show presents...
How do you spell that name?
How do you spell
That name.
How do you spell
That name.
hockey?
Spelling bee.
Hockey. Spelling bee.
Hockey spelling bee.
Yeah, how the puck do you spell that name is what was said earlier.
Goodness.
Hockey spelling bee with wild tickets at stake. We're going to get all state of hockey on you and turn up the heat because this is a spelling bee, baby. We're going to toss in a few wild players, a few North Stars, and throw in a couple of all-timers as well. So let's play Hockey Spelling Bee.
Oh, this is going to be brutal.
Yeah, it
I'll
could
be
be.
playing along and feeling real dumb.
When in doubt, leave the vowel out.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, well, this is great. So, Tony, who have we got ready to play?
First up is Donna from White Bear Lake.
Donna, good morning.
Good morning. How are you guys?
We're great, thanks. Donna, give me your favorite band.
Well, it's always going to be the Beatles.
Always. And no one's going to try to talk you off that hill. Who's your favorite team, any sport?
Well, you know what? We got 2 undefeateds here. It's going to be tough, and we're playing for hockey tickets. I got season tickets to the Vikings and the Wild are 1-0. So, okay, today the Wild are my favorite team.
Good
How's that?
answer. We'll take it. The Beatles and the Wild. Can't poke a hole in either theory right now. Tony, who we're going to go back and forth with this. So who's caller number 2?
Right, the next one is another Tony from Savage.
Tony, good morning.
Good morning.
Tony, give me your favorite band.
Tom Petty,
That'll work. Give me your favorite team, any sport.
Minnesota Wild.
Attaboy. All right, 2 Wild fans playing for Wild and hacking tickets. Let's do it. Tony's going to take you guys through how the puck do you spell that, and I wish you both the best of luck.
Thank you.
All right, you 2 crazy kids, what we're just going to do is present to you a name of a player, and you go ahead and spell it. Try and spell it correctly. All right, first up is Donna. And number 1 is, we're going to start off with kind of a softball. This is Tom Reed. Tom Reed.
Reed. Tom Reed. I'm going to say, well, do I have to spell first and last or just last?
Just the last name, right, Tone?
Really? Well,
Yeah.
Oh, you want the whole name?
I do. I would
Okay.
like that.
Tony wants both
Okay.
names, Donna.
Give me both.
Okay, you said Tom, so it's Tom, and Reed, I believe, is R-E-I-D.
Oh, sorry, you left off the R-E-I-D.
I said R-E-I-D.
Oh, I thought you just said R-I-D. Okay, sorry about that.
No, got it.
Oh, for God's sakes, Donna, pardoname.
Man,
Right there in the neon as you cruise down 7th, yeah.
man, that Tony just got
Thought you
called
would
for
get that.
icing on that one. Let's bring it back.
In the
I'll
box.
try to speak slower.
That's cool. Thanks, Donna.
All good, Donna. All right.
All right, Tone, yours is Bill Goldsworthy.
Bill Goldworthy, Bilgoldworthy.
Oh, so close. You left off the S. Goldsworthy.
You want Goldworthy.
Ah, cripes.
It's like that James Bond film, Gold's Finger.
Goldsfinger.
Gotcha.
All right. That's all right. You'll get back on that horse in a minute. It's time for
All right.
Donna, round 2.
Yeah, this is not going to be easy. Second one for you, Donna. Willie Plett.
Willie Plett. W-I-L-L-I-E. Willie. Plett. I'm going to say P-L-E-T-T.
Sorry, there's no E on Willie. It's weird, a W-I-L-L-I.
Oh, my
Oh, it's
gosh.
bizarre.
I got the last name right, though, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Dang. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Anthony,
Yeah.
Thank you
number
for
2
your-
Yes.
is Gump Worsley. Gump Worsley.
Man.
Gump Worsley.
Sure. Goalie for the North Stars.
Gump, G-U-M-P, Worsley. W-O-R-S-L-E-Y.
All right, sir. Love
God,
it.
When did he play?
Man.
Oh, back in, wasn't it the
Black
70s?
and white days.
Yeah.
It was.
Jeez.
I mean, it was a while back.
Tony.
Did I get that right?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
did.
All right, we're tied up.
Right on.
He's keeping score.
Pulled that right out of the gump hat. Well done.
All right, Donna, maybe you've heard of this fella, Lou Nanny.
Lou Nanny. Now, this one I should know. L-O-U, Nanny, N-A-N-N-I.
Oh, it's an E, not an I. Lou Nanny. Nanny.
It's what?
It's an E, not an I at the end.
Oh, it's N-A-N-N-E. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've not seen his name very often, so sorry. Well,
Don't apologize.
I instead of E, except after Nan.
Tonio,
Exactly.
your number
That I
3.
thought.
Oh, should be kind of easy. Bobby Smith.
Bobby Smith. B-O-B-B-Y-S-M-I-T-H.
Atta boy.
Wow.
Yes.
All right.
He had that
Fastball right
nose
down the
as
middle.
wide
Two
as his
team
head.
scores.
All right, ready for this, Donna? Miko Koivu.
I'm out.
Nico Cruyff.
Miko Koivu.
Just like it sounds.
Yeah, right. Miko. M-I... M-I-C-O.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Koivu would have gotten me anyway.
Yeah.
That was a tough one.
I get that.
Miko.
Was that the last name? Did I get that wrong too?
Mikko-Koivu. That's a tough one, Miko Koivu.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. How come I get the hard one? He got a Smith.
No, you got
I mean, she's got a point.
I'm trying to mix it up. All right. Here's Tony's, though. Marion Gabarick. Marion Gabarick.
Marion Gaborit.
Gabarick.
How pronounce it one more time?
Marion Gabarick.
All right, Marion, M-A-R-I-A-N, Gabelick, G-A-B-E-L-I-C-K.
No, sorry.
Pronunciation is key in this one, yeah.
No idea.
All right.
You gotta spell it out, Tone. Come on, don't leave me waiting.
Mariangaborick.
Okay.
Like on Sesame
Okay.
Street.
Slovak.
Fair enough.
Wow.
All right.
All right, Donna. Jared Spurgeon.
Jared Spurgeon. Jared. Oh man, that's the hard part. I know I have the Spurgeon part. I'm going to say J-E-R-O-D.
Sorry.
There's 2 R's, isn't there?
No.
But Tony, you sound depressed.
I know.
This is
You know, she has a point.
game.
I've got Spurgeon, too.
R-G-E-O-N. I have that part.
Yeah, right. But you know, the last names, the first names are tricky these days. Everyone
Yeah,
spells
they
Jared
are.
differently.
Yeah.
A-R-E-D?
Jared
Yeah.
Spurgeon.
Okay. All right.
All right. Hey, Tony.
Yes.
Kirill Kaprizov.
Kirill Kaprizov. Oh, shoot, that's a hard one.
Yeah.
Kirill is K-A-R-I... Already wrong?
Yes.
Was it already...
Try Kaprizov.
I'd rather not.
Okay.
I'll butcher that if you want me to, but...
Kirill, of course.
Kirill. I've said it a million times, but I think I would have screwed that one up. I've seen enough. Yeah.
It's tough. Donna, this is a little easier for you. Matt Boldy.
M-A-T-T-B-O-L-D-Y.
Nice.
Donna. Off
That's
the
a score.
schneid. Yeah, off the schneid, Donna.
All right.
Well played.
Just a few more.
Jeez.
Tony Brock Faber.
Brock, what's the last name?
Faber.
Favor.
Faber.
Okay,
Faber.
Brock Faber. Brockfabre.
Nope.
Oh, no.
E-R.
You went Farver
Faber.
on it.
Oh.
Yeah, Faber.
Knowledge is good.
Right.
Faber College.
Faber College, yeah.
You each have two more, and that's that. Donna, Bobby Orr.
Bobby Orr, Bobby. Orr is ORR.
Nice.
Got it. She got it.
Bang.
Woo!
Tony, you have Gordie Howe. Gordie Howe.
Gordie Howe. Gordy. EY, isn't it?
Man.
Yeah.
It's EI.
That you took a double
I-E.
poke there, yeah. Yeah, you could go either way, but no.
Gordie. All right, your last one, both of yous. Donna, Mario Lemieux.
Mario Lemieux. Got to get the Canadians in there, don't you? Okay, Mario,
Gotta sneak 'em in.
Mario, and Lemieux. Let me see. Okay, I'm going to say it's Lemeaux.
So close. Lemieux. Lemieux.
That's a tough one.
IEU. Oh, man.
All right,
Yeah,
Tony.
that's tough.
Tony, this one for a tie. You need this one.
Go, Tone, go, Tone. Alex Ovechkin. Alex Ovechkin.
I was waiting for the Eastern Europeans.
Ovechkin?
Ovechkin.
Well, you said
Oh,
right.
Jesus. Have fun at the game. Have fun at the game, Donna.
Oh,
Now, Tony.
All right, I'm going to try it. Alex Ovechkin. ALEXOVECKEN.
Sorry.
So close.
Yo,
Yeah.
so
You were
close.
on your way.
Ovechkin. Ovechkin.
Tony, solid effort, my
Wow.
man. This was a gauntlet. My
I
goodness.
was holding my breath there for a while.
Yeah, this is an uncomfortable one. Donna, 3 out of however many is enough for the win today.
Yippee!
You got your wild tickets. Yippee-yi-yay, indeed.
Enjoy
Thank
the
you.
sweet, yeah.
You got it.
The best of the KQ Morning Show.
A Dollar Tree store in Indiana. A woman walks in with her 9-year-old daughter, and they're looking for a gift for the little girl's school teacher. She wants to get a gift for the teacher. It's nice. I guess an apple is passé. You don't go for an apple for the teacher anymore. So at one point, they were smelling candles. And the little girl, she would walk around, she'd open up the box, and she would put the candle to her nose to smell. And she got a whole nose full of something real bad. And in fact, it turned out to be liquid in the box as well. Her mom explains a little bit about what happened right here.
She picked up a candle to smell and tilted it back, and it literally, liquid went down her. And at first we're like, maybe it's just water. And as we're walking through the store, we get a foul smell.
Uh-oh.
And Grace goes, Mom, my shirt really stinks. They told me it's been happening over a month, and they're not able to catch the person doing it. And there's no cameras down the aisles where he is doing it. The manager has asked for corporate to put in cameras in those areas, and corporate just doesn't want to pay for those.
She left out the fun part.
What is
was
that smell?
Yeah.
It's urine.
Yes.
It's pee candles. Now, I have a sensitive bouquet or something. If I go into one of those stores in the mall that's full of candles, I get it overwhelms my sense of smell, and I have to leave. It can really make me nauseous. Like if it's a bunch of perfume, anything with a lot of smells like that, it's too much for me. But this is a whole nother level. I mean, this is a pea candle. Not really known as that. It probably said something like Jasmine Morning, and she's expecting a Jasmine Morning. But so if you got that story, if you heard the audio, the manager said, oh yeah, someone keeps peeing in our candle boxes. So you open the box and it's just got pee all over it. And so first of all, let's not assume it's a guy. He's doing this. They say he's been doing it for a month. It could be a gal. You never know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chances are it's a guy. I get it.
I mean, logistically, it's probably a dude.
That's what I'm saying. I get it.
Like
You
that
can't
kind of
squat over a candle.
You can squat over a candle, but that kind of precision is really difficult. Like, I'd be real impressed with the precision if this was, in fact, a woman.
I bet they're putting
yeah.
it in a container before they come into the store so it's easy pour. I don't think they're dropping their pants and hosing it down right in the retail outlet.
Like
Wait a
guy
minute.
walking around with a Tupperware of lemonade or something like that, just walks in the store and then starts dumping it in the candles. What kind of sick psychosis is that? What happened there?
What kind of sick psychosis would realize that's the method of delivery?
Yeah. I never thought about I never thought about
trial
the
and
better
error.
delivery system. I suppose guys we have a barrel we can shoot, but women, it's like dropping something from the air. It'd be like dropping a bomb or something like that. Not as precise, but again, back to peeing on the candles. We had the guy that was sticking stuff up his keister at the antique store. Remember that? He'd go in with his kilt, just up the bum, and then back onto the shelf.
Right.
That's more disgusting than this. But I just don't. What went wrong? What happened in your life? What did she do to you? What did he do to you?
The entire situation must have been so strange. Here's little Grace. She's like 9 years old. She's got pee all over her shirt. She's freaking out. I give the manager of the store credit because the manager, when they reported it, actually said, here, you can take my shirt. Let's just confuse the girl even more. Let's just make it where she literally offered the girl her own shirt. So it just went from bad to weird all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's the manager that's doing it.
Yeah, really. By the way, the mom said she took her daughter down to the health clinic to get her checked out. Which it's pee. You didn't swallow it. It's just on your shirt. Do you really need to involve doctors with this? Maybe so. Maybe you want to make sure it is just pee, but still, seems a little nuts. How does Dollar Tree not have? If it happens once, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
You're like, that was weird. End of story.
Yeah.
If it happens twice, you got yourself a full-blown problem, and you got to be aware of it. The manager said it's been happening off and on for over a month. What the hell? What is going on there?
Somebody needs to stake out the candle aisle. A security camera. I know Dollar Tree, you're trying to keep your costs down, pass those savings along to the consumer. But, I mean, maybe, I don't know, stake somebody out. Maybe one little cheap, inexpensive security camera.
Just move the candles someplace where you can see them.
Yeah, closer to the counter.
Rearrange the store. That's all you got to do.
I'm rearranging the store for the serial peer. All right. See, this is where
let's just call
we're
the store-
rearranging society for the lowest common denominator.
Okay.
Not happening.
Let's just rebrand it Dollar P if that's the case. Because you're issuing a challenge. You're throwing down the gauntlet. Oh, think you can pee on these candles? Not so fast. Let's see you pee in those vases towards the back.
Right.
You're just going to move around and find something else to pee on.
Plus, you're taking all the fun out of buying the candle for the teacher and then peeing on it yourself before you give it to the teacher.
Well, that's exactly right. It's like, you're definitely. I mean, what's the point? You want to give your a candle to a teacher? It's got to be a gag candle, and what better gag is there than a pee candle? I mean, I like where this kid's thinking.
The best of the KQ Morning Show.
Back to the best of the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
In Fort Myers, Florida, an 84-year-old woman who, by the way, her name is Del Bopple.
Best name ever.
Del Bopple. There's nothing I could say after that isn't going to be awesome. If you have a grandma named Del Bopple, you bring your friends over to hang out with her. You know what I mean? Like, what? Oh yeah, Del Bopple, that's your grandma. She's the coolest old lady I've ever met. Yeah. Make no mistake, Del Bopple is a baller. She's 84 years old, and she was walking her little tiny dog near her Julia Mobile Home Park, right near her home, her mobile home park. And as you do in Florida, when you walk a dog, sometimes you get a little too close to a little pond, and then things happen. Here's Del Bopple talking about the fact that, yes, she came across a gator.
It's a moment of survival. I can understand men and women in war now. I have never seen anything move that fast in all my life. I didn't have time to think. That alligator took off like 35 miles an hour, and I'm not joking.
She's not. Del Bopple's not joking around.
She looked down. She saw her little dog, Queen, right by the waterside, and then saw eyes in the water. She saw the alligator's eyes, and she said, I bent over. She picked up her dog and just threw it into the air. and at the same time, the gator lunged and got a hold of Dell. It took a little chunk of her leg and bit her in the hand as well before it scurried away. It was a 7-foot gator, which is not the biggest gator ever, but about 6 feet longer than any gator I want to mess with. Mm-hmm. And by the way, she also said, I've been complaining about all the alligators to the people in my community, but nobody's ever returned a call. I bet they will now.
I don't need that.
If that had been my grandmother, Gertrude Gorman, this is what she would have done. Removed her size 10.5-foot shoe and smacked that thing in the head, because that's what Gert always said to us. I'll take my shoe at you. And that was when playtime ended. No one ever got the shoe because nobody was ever dumb enough to cross that line.
Man, no kidding. You know what Del Popple should do? I'd take this alligator and make a fine pair of shoes and then take the dog for a walk in her new alligator pumps.
Yeah, her handbag.
Del Popple sounds like it sounds like a lot of things. It's a children's toy. It's a taco stand. There's so many things to be done with the name Del Popple. She really should have franchised herself.
A 50s vocalist.
Oh, my God. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
One of the great doo-wop era singers of all time, Del Popple. Del Popple and the Flamin' Gators.
Man.
Absolutely fantastic.
How many fingers it got of Del? It's hard to say from her photo here, but it looks like at least a couple.
Ouch, man. But she did say she's feeling okay because when she knows when she gets out of the hospital, she said this, I'm going to go back home to my dog, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah, that by the way, that's a swipe at her grandkids. They don't call enough.
Yeah. You know it is. I mean, I'm looking at the stories this morning. We've done 1, 2, 3, 4 here. I can see in the last year and a half of small dogs being walked in Florida, attacked by an alligator.
Yeah.
I mean, you're really just baiting alligators is what you're doing when you take a small dog for a walk in Florida.
It's almost like people are literally trying to do one of two things. Either like Del Popple, I'm going to go viral for being a badass, or I just love to torture reptiles. It's I just love to tease them and get them excited. Yeah. And then, it can go awry, of course. If they get a hold of that dog, it's all over. But, I think there's a taunting thing here. There's a subconscious taunting happening with Floridians and their small animals. How about this? If you're going to take an animal for a walk in Florida, how about you put an alligator on a leash and walk it? That's probably the only way. That's probably the only way for sure you're going to get back home with the pet you left with.
Or start an alligator fight.
Or start an alligator fight. Or just go after the neighbor's poodle that just won't shut up, Take your pet alligator out, and what poodle? How about your kid standing out at the bus stop? Your little tyke out there, your kindergartner. Here's a dad. God. This year, wrestling an alligator before the kids went out to the bus stop.
I woke up this morning groggy. I'm ready to just take my kids to school. It's my daughter first day in middle school. So she runs back. Dad, there's an alligator in front door. I'm thinking she's joking. She's trying to skip school, not go to school. Walks in front like, yeah, there's a gator. Steve Irwin. Crikey, there's a gator. There's a gator. You jump in his back. And they're like, okay. I'm doing it. I crossed that off my bucket list. I'm going to wrestle alligator today.
Yeah, he did, by the way, wrestle that alligator. And it wasn't a 7-footer. It looked like it might have been about a 3 or 4 footer, but
sure.
Dad did the dad thing.
When you live in Florida and your child screams, Dad, there's an alligator on the front porch, they're not joking.
No.
I thought she was trying to get out of school. No, dude, she would have said any number of things. There's a man in a mask and a chainsaw. That would have been getting out of school. When you say there's an alligator, no, that's a gator, dude. That's exactly what's going to happen.
An alligator ate my homework.
We've all tried in our various ways. In Florida, you could get away with that in Florida. Make no mistake about it.
The best of the KQ Morning Show.
Every now and again in school, and it really didn't stop in elementary school, throughout high school, every now and again somebody would just go, hey, check this out. And they would just have something with them. They brought it to school. They had the idea at home, I'm going to bring this to school because I think people will think this is cool.
Yeah.
And it almost never is. I got a Rubik's Cube for Christmas one year, and I was the first person in my town to have one. I was convinced of it, and I think I was. But I brought it to school the first day back after Christmas break, and it was like nobody had ever seen one. It was like, oh my God, Rubik, what is this? And I've never felt cooler in my life because I brought a thing to school that everybody freaked out about. I mean, like my math teacher was like, let me see that. And he was playing with it, and we're all freaking out. And then Donnie Messick solved it like in 3 minutes, and I was like, oh, screw you.
Donnie.
Yeah.
What company does he own now?
He was a biochemist in Vancouver for years. Yeah. Trust me, he was doing just fine. But that's the only time I can remember it ever working. You know what I mean? Like anything else you ever think, here's a great idea. I remember as like a kid, 3rd grade, I would literally think, I'm just going to bring this record to school. I bet I'd look cool if I carried an album down the hallway.
Just walking
and
down.
I'd just like my older brother Tom had all these prog rock albums, and I was like, yes, Roundabout. I'm just gonna walk down the halls in 3rd grade holding this album.
Never know when you're going to run into a turntable.
And exactly. And no one ever said, what's with the record? Right. They were just like, what's wrong with that kid?
Yeah, he's weird. You guys had show and tell, didn't you?
Yeah, show and tell.
Absolutely.
That's one thing. I'm talking about just like on
Bringing
Tuesday.
stuff in. Yeah, I've told the story before on the air. I smuggled a frog into 1st grade class. It was one of the first days, and found a frog out on the playground, and I wanted to keep the frog. And so I brought it in, and the teacher said, no, Brian, take the frog out. Okay. Yep. So I took the frog out and stuck it in my pocket. And I came back in, and I told my teacher, I'm like, I just threw it across the playground. She's like, well, you didn't have to throw it, but let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. And halfway through the Pledge of Allegiance, Gail Eichstead said, there's a frog, and it was hopping across the floor.
Yeah.
He had gotten free, and then the teacher walked me back out this time. And gently released the frog back into the wild on a gravel playground, where I'm sure it was stomped on at recess.
If there are any teachers listening, you certainly have a long list of bizarre things people brought to school. We'd love to hear from you. 651-989-ROCK is the number. There is a teacher named Sarah who said, I've been teaching elementary for 11 years. Craziest things that students have brought in their backpack. A dead rabbit. Yes. There's a kid who's like, oh, man, everyone's going to want to see this.
Yeah.
I like this one. Not just missing keys, but my missing keys. The teacher's missing keys.
Hey, look what I found. She's going to think I'm a hero.
That's great. Yeah, I know. You just know that's the arsonist who calls the fire department. No, that's not how this works. Here's another one she wrote. Their parents' weed. Yeah. Oh, sure. Wow. And then a bow and arrow. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. I'm going to have this. Sherry, I'm a school bus driver. Oh, perfect. A student last week brought mom's favorite toy on the bus.
Uh-oh.
All of the kids were going crazy, which is how I found out. And then in all caps, that thing was huge.
Mom!
Mom! Whoa, hold on a minute.
Whatever gets the mom through the day.
Absolutely.
I know she was looking for that later in the day. How could I misplace that massive
Where could it be?
toy of mine? Amy here says, my son took a dead duck once we found in the driveway, put it in a bag, put it in the fridge, wanted to show his teacher. I don't know if that one ever made it to school or not, but yeah, might have been a Minnesota kid there, could have been a nice mallard, a diver, a teal.
Oh, okay. This one's going to be kind of hard to top, actually. Let me finish to make sure I'm not going to read. I don't want to Ron Burgundy some cuss words out into the air. My brother and sister were adopted when I was in kindergarten. They came from a third world country. They had some intestinal parasites. As they were being treated for those, we had to collect stool samples and take them to the doctor occasionally to make sure the parasites had all died and there was nothing left in their stomach. Being in kindergarten, all I knew was that we were saving poop because it must have been really cool. We can all see where this is going.
Yes.
So one morning, I swiped a stool sample from the counter that was supposed to go to the pediatrician and took it to school for show and tell.
Oh, my God.
My mom absolutely got a call from the principal about that.
There's somebody's name on the label too, on the sample.
That reminds me of once going out to recess. I think it was like second grade, and Kurt Rebohm, a turd fell out of his pants.
Oh,
he pooped
man.
his
Oh, out
pants.
of like the bottom, out of the
His
cuff.
corduroy bell bottoms, just fell right out there on the floor. And I don't think he ever lived that down. They ended up moving when we were in high school. And I remember thinking to myself, best you move. Yeah.
Did you pick it up and go, I think you dropped this?
Babe Ruth. And I took a big bite of it.
And by the way, when you're a kid, you literally do think that's why they moved.
Yes.
My first grade teacher, her name was Mrs. Gass, G-A-S.
This is hilarious.
And
Oh my God.
And she moved on to second grade when I went to second grade, and I was convinced it because she was like, I got to get that Gorman kid again. I was she loved me. We got along great. I could tell I was a teacher's pet, but I was literally like, man, I didn't know she liked me that much. That's amazing. She's made a career change for me, Steve Gorman, who's 8. That was not at all what was happening. 651-989-ROCK is the talk and text line. We got a caller, Tony?
First up is Fred.
Fred, good morning.
Good morning.
Fred, give me your favorite band.
Motley Crue in their prime.
I like the context. Okay, give me your favorite team, any sport.
I got to be a masochist and go with the Vikings.
Attaboy. Hey, these are the salad days. Enjoy them right now. Fred, what do you got for us?
Back when I was in 4th grade, a classmate went duck hunting. And on Monday during show and tell, he brought a canvas bag in and was pulling the heads out of the ducks that he had shot and naming them off and describing them.
Wow, that's educational for crying out loud. There's so many, Fred, you get that duck book from the DNR and you're like, which ones can I shoot again? There's 500 ducks in here. You got to learn that stuff.
Severed heads.
He knew his duck.
Yeah, I guarantee. Yeah, well, now everyone knew his ducks.
Yeah.
That's
I think
perfect.
his name was Tom, actually.
His name was what?
I think his name was Tom.
They should have brought turkey heads then.
Yeah, no kidding. Fred, thank you for the call, brother. We appreciate it. Tony, who else have we got?
Checking in is the lovely Jerry.
Jerry, good morning.
Good morning.
Jerry, what's your favorite band?
Oh, I got to say the Eagles.
You can say that. Favorite team, any sport. Please be the Eagles. Please be the Eagles.
The Vikings.
The Vikings, yes. Much better answer. Jerry, what have you got for us?
I brought in 1st grade my tonsils in a small little bag.
Oh, God.
That the doctor saved for me because I was so scared, and I said I was afraid to lose them, and he actually giggled and brought them in after I woke up, and I had to bring these little tonsils down to the cafeteria and put them in the freezer. So then all the kids passed them around and looked at them, and then I forgot to bring them back to the cooks in the cafeteria. So those things thawed out in my desk.
A little stinky, did it?
Well,
man, thawed out tonsils in the desk.
I'm kind of glad they didn't make it back to the cafeteria. I'm just saying on, Thursday meat surprise. It might have ended up
right.
What do tonsils look like? I don't know,
Yeah, tonsils out of the shell, as they say. Trying to think of what those might be looking like. Thank you for the call.
Thank you.
You got it, Jerry. On the text line, Craig from Bloomington. In high school, a friend brought a bloodied, severed hand from the Halloween store. He brought it to swimming class, dropped it in the deep end. Nobody was able to retrieve it, so it stayed there for 2 weeks. That's good. That's a good one. I was thinking it was actually a severed hand. Went to school with a kid, also, this is from Scott, went to school with a kid that kept a dead bull snake in his locker for a week. By Thursday and Friday, it was decomposing pretty bad, stinking up the hallway. I vividly remember the disgusted look on the principal's face as he found the source of the smell.
Oh,
Heck, yeah.
But everyone was visiting. It's like, you want to see a bull snake? Yeah, I really want to see the bull snake, man. They were checking that one out. No shortage of, the kids that find stuff, they don't know what it is. They think it's cool. They bring it in. I'm on teachermisery.com. This is a site a teacher set up. Teachermisery.com. For teachers, it's a Long Island teacher set this up. Not uncommon for students to bring along their parents' vibrators and dildos, or other awkward sex items. One young man brought a Playboy magazine for silent reading time.
Well, the writing is of quality.
P.J. O'Rourke, some of those articles. Are you kidding me?
I had a kid in my high school who lived on a farm outside of town, and he walked in. We had a morning assembly every morning. Everyone went into the gym, sat in the bleachers, and there'd be announcements and this and that and the other before we went to our class. It was a really small school. And the door opened to the gym, and this kid named Kirk walked in, and immediately everyone jumped up and ran because he had been sprayed by a skunk that morning.
Oh, God.
He was sprayed directly, not like 100 yards away.
Point blank?
No, he got busted by a skunk.
Bam.
And got in his car. It was a pickup truck and drove to school.
Oh.
And he walked in, and the second he walked in, I mean, he's not in the room for more than 3 seconds. The whole gym, everyone just jumped up like, what is that? And he, when, berated by whoever the first adult in the room was that got near him and said, get the hell out of here, go home. He said, I thought people would want to know what it smelled like.
All right.
He's dead serious.
Yeah.
And I'd never smelled a up close skunk smell before. I'd smelled them when you drive by in the road, in the car. That was my first time being that close. And I still if you've never been within 10 or 15 feet of a skunk spray, you don't know what a skunk smells like.
No, it affects more than just your sense of smell, too.
Oh, yeah.
It gets most of the senses in there. And I'm thinking of that truck. Dude, those seats are,
it's done.
No seat covers. You got to
it.
pull those seats out of there.
Old dog, Clementine, the greatest dog ever, got sprayed in her face. I mean, straight up like the yellow mustard on her face.
Yeah.
And I was watching it from 20 feet away. And I've never, it's like a tire factory is on fire. I mean, it's like a chemical. It smells man-made is what I'm getting at. It's not like that natural in a distance smell. Anyway, I've never, the 2 times I was that close to that, it was just, I'm sorry. I need to step off this planet right now.
Nature dealt them one hell of a, what I'm looking for. Self-defense system. No kidding. My God.
I love the thought of a kid who's like, man, this is horrible. I bet people want to know. I bet I should just go to school like this.
Yeah.
There is a certain amount of that at that age, right?
Yeah, why not?
The best of the KQ Morning Show.
Back to the best of the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
You always hear the story like, it cost me an arm and a leg. A few years ago in New York City, the cost of an arm and a leg was put to the test. A gentleman who is, he's a 56-year-old guy in New York City, drinking into a New York subway station, falls onto the tracks, drunk, stumbling drunk. And for the record, I have been stumbling drunk on a New York subway platform myself, so I'm not going to judge the guy. Because New York is one of those towns where you just get there and you put on your drinking hat. That's just what you do. You got to pack it and you bring it.
Yeah.
For the record, before I lived in Minneapolis, I said the exact same words about Minneapolis. Boy, I got to bring my drinking hat if I'm going to Minnesota. He fell onto the tracks. A train operator failed to stop in time and it ran him over. It severed a leg and most of one arm. He survived. He filed a lawsuit. He won in court $90 million.
But he was drunk. He fell on the tracks.
The court found the train operator would have been able to stop the train if he had simply pulled the emergency brake. He chose not to. And then the train operator said, people were waving frantically, trying to get my attention. I saw something on the tracks. I just thought it was a bag of garbage. When he said those words, the people from the subway authority were like, oh my God, you didn't just say that. Long story short, $90 million. An expert testified the victim's lifetime medical expenses alone would be at least 17 or 18 million, and then you add pain and suffering, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
For a bag of garbage?
For a big of garbage. But so check this out. It got us to thinking, man, an arm and a leg, 90 mil.
I don't want to be insensitive to people that are dealing with missing limbs.
Not at all.
I know several, but I was thinking the same thing. 90 mil.
Good to be in New York City
and a leg
for that proceeding.
Certainly for an arm.
Yes.
The leg is a little trickier.
Trickier. But geography plays a big part in what happens. If you have a workplace accident. Zepp, if I turn on your microphone and it accidentally cuts your arm off, let's just say.
Okay.
We're at work. I hit the wrong button on that board.
Yep. Boom.
And you never know. You are in Minnesota. You would have a very different settlement if you happen to be in Wisconsin. State by state, it can be a huge difference. There's a story I just read about a gentleman in Georgia and a gentleman in Alabama. Two guys, both working in industrial plants, both lost an arm in an accident within a few months of each other. The guy in Alabama got $45,000 in workers' comp.
All right.
That's it. The guy in Georgia over lifetime will make $700,040.
If he's taunting the other one.
Because Georgia is a better place to lose a limb than Alabama. It's kind of crazy to think about that. If you need to know what happens in Minnesota if you lose an arm, the maximum compensation for one arm in Minnesota, about $114,000. Less than the national average.
No, I'm not going to do it for 114. I mean, not crazy. Cut it off myself, but I mean, yeah, I'm not crazy about 114. How come in Wisconsin it's 201,000? What the hell? If I just go over to Hudson, if I lose an arm, Steve, here this morning,
packing it on ice and racing on 94
get my
East.
ass over to Hudson.
You got it.
That's an extra, 75,000.
That's kind of crazy. A leg in Minnesota is only going to get you 48 large. That seems low.
That's well below the national average.
Less than an arm. Whereas the leg in Wisconsin, 160,000.
All right.
We have the same amount of snow to shovel. I don't know why they're getting so much more money.
And by the way, this isn't just information I happen to have. No, that's not the case at all. There's a website where you can go put in the body part state by state, see how much it's worth. If you're curious about what you can get for a testicle, in Wisconsin, I don't have that information available. A lot of states don't post a number, but for the ones who do, well, God willing, we never have to find out.
Here in Minnesota, $3,750 for a testy. And the national average, just about 28,000. Why so cheap on the body parts, Minnesota? What the hell's going on?
You get a deal on a pair for the two testes?
Well, I mean, I don't know if you get, you'd be looking at roughly over $7,000 for the pair.
A middle finger in Minnesota, you're only going to get $9,300 for it. I mean, you're removing
more than a testy.
You're removing a huge part of our communicative skills. Take away that middle finger, and what does that say?
I get a lot more value out of it than that every day just on the way home.
Man, ain't that the truth?
Not to mention right here at work.
Big toe in Minnesota, about $6,400.
That the big toe?
Yeah, come on, Sergeant Hulka. We need a little bit more than that.
What happened to the $90 million for the? So if I'm drunk, and then sue. We're looking at big-time millions of dollars. So I just need to get drunk and then head out to, I don't know, a MnDOT site or...
Wow, check this out.
Somewhere.
Oh, that said, I want to see what an ear is worth here in Minnesota. Not available. Ear and nose. I'm just thinking about what body parts do I have that are a little bigger than I wish they were? Should I get more? I mean, thank God I have a big head because my nose is the size of a Texas belt buckle. So, but it gets washed away a little bit with the general size of my pumpkin head. True story. Cap and gown high school graduation. I had to order extra. I had to wait extra to get it big enough to fit around this.
The mortar board wouldn't fit.
Pretty much. That's exactly right. But anyway, so just you might want to look at these things, figure out where you are before you file that claim. Of course, but the problem is if I race you over to Hudson, you have to get hired somewhere with that arm on ice. You got to get a job to then claim workers' comp.
I know a guy.
Okay, cool.
He'll vouch for me.
It's always good to know.
Get me up to Grantsburg. I'm probably on the payroll at the rendezvous.
It's always good to know a guy.
Yeah, know a guy.
The more guys you know, the more it's not about what you know. It's about what kind of skirt the rules, cut corners guys you know. That's what you got to know.
The best of the KQ Morning Show.
You know what is actually a word? It's not German, but it's Norwegian. Is Udapils. We have the brewery here.
Yeah, right.
Udapils it means outside beer. In Norwegians, it's an outside beer. It's like when you are just outside having a beer.
Okay, I like
outside
it.
We should. There's not an English version in one word. We should just take that. Hey, man, you want a Udapils?
Yeah.
Well, then step outside, motherfucker. You gotta straighten people out. You know what I mean?
This beer outside, mister.
Yeah, man. I do like that one. Here is a great German word I love. Kummerspeck. Kummerspeck. It's a German word that literally means grief bacon. And it's when you overeat because you're sad about something.
Oh, I thought, thought if there was someone who had a loved one pass away, you would bring them bacon, some grief bacon.
Well, that could be it. That could be it.
So it's like it's when you overeat. Well, I experience Kummer speck a lot.
Would you like a tissue with your Kummer speck? I see you're crying. I see you're making the tears out of your eyes. Chauncey Gorman is a Kummer Schnitzel or dog. What's the word for dog in German? I picked him up in a fit of grief. Best thing I ever did. Yeah.
So there was it had a dog pass.
Not a dog, a family member. I was just taking it. It was a really sad time, and I walked right by a window. Literally, how much is that puppy in the window? I was like, look at all those puppies in there. I think I need one. And the next thing you know, I'm sitting here wiping snot for the next 7.5 years.
Good move,
worth every penny. Oh, it's the best thing ever. A Scottish word that is also of note, tartle. Tartle. They probably say tartle.
Sounds like something they'd wear.
It's a Scottish word for when you want to introduce someone, but you hesitate. That hesitation is a tartle. And you hesitate because you can't remember their name.
Oh.
Or, as I call it, every time I go to introduce someone.
You're full of tartles.
I'm a tartle. I'm a Tartelhoffenstufenen.
I know it. Don't you hate it when you think you have a guess in your head, but you don't feel confident about it, and you say, listen, I just forgot your name, and they tell you the name, and it was the guess. You're like, I was gonna guess that, which sounds disingenuous now.
I did actually stumble across a great thing probably 10 years ago because someone said it when talking to me. They went, "Hey, this is oh my god, brain fart." And what do you and you go, "Oh, yeah, I've had that, Steve." Yeah, sorry, Steve. And I was like, "Oh yeah, it's just that simple. Just admit you can't think of their name instead of me going, "Hey, man, this is." I start coughing, hoping they'll introduce themselves.
Right.
Yeah, everyone sees right through it.
I used to think it was funny for a short period of time just to say a name. Hey, Wendy. No, it's Lisa. But no one else ever thought that was funny. I was the only. I was like, but I just kind of. Anyway, Elise,
did that on purpose.
Been a while.
Yeah, my Uncle Larry was big on this one. There he is.
Hey, you.
Yeah, big guy.
There he is.
Yeah, there's trouble.
The best of the KQ Morning Show.
Back to the best of the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
As a kid, loving movies as I did, I, along with everyone else who's ever lived, was always discouraged when you start to have your first relationships. You're starting to explore, make out sessions, and then how far is this going to lead, and where are we going to go? And I'll just come clean with my first girlfriend, where we were involved in these sort of things. I had movie scenes in my head as we would be progressing down the list because that's all you had. There was not porn available.
Mom and Dad didn't walk you through it?
Nobody sat me down and had a conversation. I'm literally thinking like, well, this is going to be like that scene in what was the Lessons, the movie where the French teacher and the ninth grade boy, Private Lessons. They're like, or I saw the Other Side of Midnight on HBO at my friend's house, and this is what they did. And then
Porky's or something like that.
Even to the point, yes. And then of course Animal House and every one of those. But I'm just saying, you have a limited basis of imagery and thoughts on what is supposed to happen. I did in ninth grade see the movie 10 in a movie theater with my parents.
That blows my mind.
The worst 2 hours of my life. But a whole lot of what I thought sex or even things leading to sex came from watching that movie. Bad news, because there's orgy scenes, and then there's all sorts of there's just people doing things that you can't do until you've had a ton of sex.
Were your parents enjoying the movie?
They were laughing hysterically. They thought it was hilarious, and which blew my mind that Mr. and Mrs. John C. Catholic were laughing at this movie of just depravity. And then it really blew my mind that they brought their ninth grade son with them on a Friday night to see it. But I mean, all I'm saying is I'm getting back to the idea of we've all had those moments where the stuff you see in films, forget porn. I'm just talking about in movies.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
No,
it's not. It doesn't work. The idea that I actually tried to make out in a hammock once, I still look back and go, yeah, that wasn't meant to be at all.
The shower scenes suck in
Forget
real
it.
life. Yeah,
Forget it.
I'm getting cold. Why are you getting all the water? Now you're getting cold.
Yeah,
I slipped. Everything's the lubricant gets washed away.
I feel like the reason. Okay, now sometimes you'll see like these really nice showers where the shower space is like the size of an elevator.
Yeah.
And you have water coming out of the walls and the ceiling from it. That's simply because people are like, this isn't like in the movies. I'm cold and there's not enough room. And so some people at like Kohler are like, we need to build bigger showers with way more water sources coming out.
I hope that's what they had in
simply
mind.
for that. But the shower and the hammock, both completely impossible. Not to mention the all-time American classic, car sex.
I know.
I mean,
it didn't stop us, but
I'm 6'3" now. Even as a kid, I was much taller, and yeah, if you're not dating a little person, you're gonna have problems at my height in the back of a Datsun 210. Doesn't work.
You need to take out the old Chevy Caprice Classic,
Man,
about
no
a block
kidding.
long or something.
But the car thing always a bit of a letdown. And for that matter, anything you're doing anywhere, it's just never as good as what you think it is based on the movies and TV shows you're watching.
True that.
Waterbed, never didn't have that one on the checklist.
I mean, I hung on to the waterbed far too long. I had
Really?
a waterbed into the 2000s.
Seriously?
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, no
Not
baffles.
comfortable.
No, I didn't want the baffles, the new crazy baffles that made it feel more like a mattress. I just wanted just a big balloon of water, a water balloon.
That's what it is.
Just in a cardboard box, basically. And it was ridiculous. I used to love to jump in and just toss people off the side of the bed. But yeah, the sex was ridiculous. It was like a balancing act,
Way too much physicality involved.
right.
I
It's
mean,
like,
for something that's a physical pursuit, it's like, I didn't mean like this. I didn't know I had to go into like Iron Man training to make this all as cool as it looks in the movies.
I'm pretty sure one of my kids was conceived in a waterbed, so you can get the job done.
Okay, fair enough. Chanhassen, good morning. Chanhassen, Minnesota.
Yeah, Chanhassen, the old theater down there. Every weekend, I think about a weekend I went down there once. No, I took my parents down there. What's it called? The Chanhassen Dinner Theater.
Chanhassen Dinner
Is it still
Theater.
cooking? That's what my mom and dad loved to do. And Dad, of all people, would surprise me. This was a Charles Bronson, John Wayne movie kind of guy. And he'd come up, we're going to the Chanhassen. Is it a musical? Oklahoma, anything playing? He liked those Rodgers and Hammerstein musicals.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
good stuff.
I was in a bunch as a kid, local theater group.
Yeah.
Come on, man. I was killing on those Rodgers and Hammerstein bad boys. The craziest decision I'm aware of adults ever making was they took our local theater group to a state penitentiary to perform for the inmates, and it was called. It wasn't a whole play. It was called Stories and Songs. It was like greatest hits from a series of Rodgers and Hammerstein plays.
Okay.
And so you had The Sound of Music, you had Fiddler on the Roof, and you had Oklahoma. And we are in again, state penitentiary. I'm in 8th grade, and there's people that are all the way, my mom and everybody in between me, and, there's just adults, kids, everybody. It's a local community theater group. And we get on stage, and we do the section where we talk about what's going on. This is Oklahoma, and it's set in 18 whatever, and this happens, and Curly is this guy, and here's Ado Annie, and you give the context, and then you perform a song or two.
Yeah.
And in this, again, state penitentiary, poor little sweet Betsy Mundy walked out there as Ado Annie and sang the song, I'm Just a Girl Who Can't Say No.
Yep, that's just what I thought of.
In a state penitentiary. Did I mention it was in a state penitentiary?
Good call.
Couple of cat calls coming from the audience.
And these guys are on their best behavior. All the inmates in the gym know that you have to earn your right to come see this performance. So they're not going to do anything terrible, but they were all seated quietly, and then they weren't.
Yeah.
She sang one line of that song. I'm just a girl who can't say no. They all jumped to their feet. It was literally, the guards all ran and they would not sit. And the whole thing stopped, and I'm on the side of the stage going, I think this is bad. and everyone's fine. It all ended okay. We all got home in one piece. But there was a few moments there where it was truly terrifying.
All right. I love it. That's a learning experience there.
It is a learning experience. Things that people do in movies or TV shows that looks pretty spicy, sexual things, and then you get into the real world and go, this doesn't really make me feel good at all. I mentioned waterbeds, and then Zep, you said, hey, you're fairly certain that you one of your children was conceived in a waterbed.
Pretty sure, yeah.
That's kind of a nice thing. Connie texted in 651-989-ROCK. My husband still sleeps in a waterbed. Bought it in 1980 when I graduated from beauty school. I replaced the heater once and the mattress twice. He said he couldn't sleep on anything but a waterbed. By the way, it's a waveless mattress.
No kidding, yeah.
I thought the whole point was that it just bounced you around like you were on the waves.
No, that was the thing. I tried that for a little while, and it's I said baffles in there, but there are like baffles in there, and so it's waveless. It's more like a traditional mattress. I think it was when waterbeds were starting that people were figuring out, hey, this isn't a great way to get a good night's sleep.
Yeah, right.
So they're like, we'll make it like more like a regular mattress, and then the whole thing just went.
It just went kablooey.
Yeah.
651-989-ROCK is the KQ talking text line. Here's another one. I'm not going to attach a name to this. I'll say it. As a guy, the reverse cowgirl. I'm not done.
Yeah.
Feeling like my dingus is going to snap.
Yeah.
Dingus.
Because the angle just ain't working, not so nice. Got me doing the Pythagorean theorem in bed to figure out the ideal angle to set my hips so that I don't end up with another broken dongle.
Yeah.
Dingus and dongle in one text.
Said another broken. That means it's happened before.
Apparently so.
There is a point where your wiener will pop like a knuckle. You'll just feel a little pop, and the reverse cowgirl is a great way to do it. You've got to do some crunches with it. When she gives. Here's the thing with the reverse cowgirl is the gal really seems to enjoy it, and when they're really enjoying themselves, not that fake enjoying that we get away with so many times, but when they're really enjoying themselves, hold on, you got to move with her a little bit, because it's she didn't go all the way that way.
I'm fascinated by this. It pops like a knuckle situation.
Where you actually feel and kind of hear a little pop in there.
I'm glad to know that that's yet never happened. I mean, I'm not, I guess it still could. Oh.
Maybe snap it back into place.
Maybe it was my knuckle. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, it very well could be. Here's another one. Sex on the beach. Do you know why they call sandpaper sandpaper? That's a pretty good question.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another one that I didn't think of. It's just not quite what you expect it to be.
Romantic looking in the movies.
Was it Top Secret or Airplane? One of those movies where the couple they're reenacting the old From Here to Eternity. The couple laying on it was Airplane.
Was it Naked Gun or Airplane?
It was definitely Airplane.
It was Airplane where the water washes over them, but then they're covered in seaweed.
Yes.
And then there's like a fish gulping for air on the sand.
And a crab in there.
Yeah, that's kind of what that feels like. That's very, very indicative of what's really going on.
The best of the KQ Morning Show.
Lots of things going on in the world today. This is a pretty wild one. A lawsuit going on in Hennepin County, and it's one of the few states in America, Minnesota, where a lawsuit like this can happen. The story is this. A gentleman had a vasectomy in 2019. He went back to the clinic after the procedure. He was told, hey, it worked. You're clear to go. This was at Minnesota Urology in Edina. They said, you're good, man. You got no more soldiers looking for new terrain. The swimmers are gone. The swimmers are gone.
A fort.
You and your wife can forego contraception. You're good to go. 4 years after that, well, guess whose wife got pregnant? This couple, Megan and Steven, they had a baby in 2023. Again, 4 years after my man's vasectomy went down, and after he was told it was all that he was clear. You cannot father a child. You are here to sire no more, sir.
I'm sure it's his, right?
Well, see, isn't that interesting? I would have to imagine that they know it's his child because they've taken it all the way to court.
Of course, they're
going in. They're going in. They asked for $6 million in. $6 million in punitive damages. The judge has already ruled, no, we're not doing that. Okay, this was not a malicious mistake. It was an honest mistake. And, of course, we'd love to get the nurse who gave them the information after reading the test results. We'd love to get her thoughts, but she passed away last year. So all they have is some paperwork. They've got test results, and clearly this was as I said, an honest mistake was made. My man's vasectomy did not take, which I've never I've heard of people reversing vasectomies.
Yeah.
And I've heard of vasectomies that apparently this has happened, but I've never heard of someone being told you are all clear, you're good to go. I've heard of people having a vasectomy and then being told, hey, this is weird, you're still producing sperm.
Okay, so I was curious about that. They do a test run, or they
Yes.
check it out after you're done to make sure that they got her right.
Yes. Yeah, you go back. There will be several tests because people want to make darn sure that you have the green light, that you're all clear.
How do they do that test?
Well, they as far as I understand it, Zep, they just hand you a cup and say, "Here's a private room with some porn.
Fun.
Go knock yourself out."
Yeah.
And then you take a nap and you smoke a cigarette and then you hand them the cup and then you see what happens.
All right.
But so this is, as I said, Minnesota is one of the few states that allows this type of lawsuit. A jury is going to have to weigh the cost of raising an unexpected child. The family did not want this child. Now but this is a tough one. This is a jury trial. This is not just some people this is not just most of these cases are settled before it ever gets to court. There's a nominal fee, and then the couple in question says, okay, fine, give us the money. This couple is saying, no, this is a very big deal. This has changed the trajectory of both of our careers. This is going to have a lifelong impact. This is a child we did not plan for.
I'm curious if they have a child, or if they wanted to, like, hey, we're going to remain childless. That's the couple we're going to be. I have a very good friends that made that decision. I don't know if they got a vasectomy or not, but they made the decision, we're going to be the couple without kids. They met under that pretense, and they've been doing it for a long time, coming up on retirement age. And early, by the way, they're retiring very early because they didn't have kids. So I guess if that was your plan and this came along,
right?
Like you said earlier, Steve, it's just hard to feel sorry for two people that had a perfectly wonderful, healthy baby, as far as we know.
Well, it's going to be it's a fine line to walk because, again, this is not just a lawyers haggling out a settlement. This is not just a judge making a decision. This is a jury trial.
Tricky.
So 12 people are going to hear your story where you go, no, of course we love our kid. He's great. I mean, but this was not the plan.
But it ruined our lives.
In the grand scheme of things, you have to hope you have 12 people, none of whom are sitting there thinking about how many times they have been screwed over, figuratively, if not literally, in their lives. And like, wait, this is your beef? Like, I'm missing work to be on jury duty because of this?
Yeah.
I can see this going. It's a really tough it's a tough tale to weave without and get people to feel bad for you and think, because what they're saying is, or an expert they have hired has said, you're talking about $500,000 to raise that kid. You're talking about physical pain, medical damages, loss of economic opportunity. Maybe we're looking at $600,000-700,000. We'll see. This is it's just fascinating to me, all the different ways this can go and all the questions that this will raise that we can't even begin to think about.
And because they've decided to take this extreme action with this and litigate this, and for a big number, I'm wondering why, you might not put it up for adoption. A lot of people, get young couples out there interested in adopting, and, in other words, they just really didn't want the kid in their lives because they had another plan for themselves, so put it up for adoption.
There is that option. I guess there was. The KQ Talking text line, 651-989-ROCK. Several texts just in. Listen to this one. My dad had 3 more kids after 3 vasectomies. I am one of them. I am one of them. My 2 younger siblings are also his. He had vasectomies before all of us were born. Every time he was told he was clear.
Vasectomy survivors.
I tell you what, man, the testosterone flowing through your dad's veins is enormous.
Powerful set on him.
Goodness gracious.
It just blasts right through. Snip this.
Jeff texted in a vasectomy, like a sun-kissed orange, all juice, no seeds. Okay. All right, I see you working there.
All right.
But this one in also. I went to the Edina office for a vasectomy. My doctor's name was Dr. Love. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That's like the Episcopal priest in my hometown was Father Lord. So I was like, really? Wow.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a priest because your last name is Lord. You had choices in life.
But an easy segue. Like Zepp, I had to get into classic rock radio. I had no choice.
My brother Jim came home from work one day, 3 kids. His youngest was 4, and he and his wife had the conversation about we're done. We had 3. We're not going to have another one. And he walked in at the end of the day, and he said, oh, hey, I just scheduled a vasectomy for next week. And his wife's response was, you can wait about 9 months if you want.
Oh,
yeah. And then number 4 was there 9 months later. A lovely lad that nobody can imagine not having. Sometimes timing is really the difference in these situations.
Yeah.
The best of the KQ Morning Show.
Happy extra long weekend, and thanks for listening to the Best of the KQ Morning Show podcast, sponsored by Devani's Pizza and Hot Hoagies. We're taking a break to digest all that turkey, and we'll join you with fresh episodes Monday, December 2nd.
Get the KQ Morning Show podcast wherever you listen. 92 KQRS.